It's time for high school baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. And now it's time to go to the diamond on the NCW Life Channel.
Hello, baseball fans. Welcome to Dan White Field here, home of the Eastmont Wildcats. Today we have the second game of a doubleheader between the Wildcats and the Moses Lake Chiefs. Eastmont is going to try to avoid being swept in the season series after falling earlier this week by a score of 5-1 at Moses Lake. They came here today, and the Chiefs took advantage of Eastmont errors in Game 1 to knock off the Wildcats by a score of 6-2. Both teams just 8 hits in the ball game, but 5 errors, very costly for Eastmont, as Moses Lake would score 3 runs in the first and would go on for the 6-2 victory. And talking with Coach Brandon Schmitten, he says we've got to do a lot better of throwing and catching. We can't even think about offense at this point if we can't catch and throw the baseball correctly. So that's the focus for the Eastmont Wildcats as they get ready for this matchup here with Moses Lake. Meanwhile, the battle for the middle of the Big Nine also unfolding here before us as we come to you from a gray and rainy and drizzly day here at Dan White Field. We'll come back and take a look at the lineups and get you ready for first pitch. It's Eastmont and Moses Lake here from Dan White Field, coming up next on the NCW Life Channel. Welcome back once again here to Dan White Field. The meeting at home plate has taken place. The lineups are set, and we are ready to go as Brandon Schmitten retreats to his dugout. Here's his lineup. Batting first will be center fielder Devin Schneider. Batting second, catcher Jackson Brown. Batting third, second baseman Kyler Morrow. Batting fourth will be left fielder Duncan Favor. Batting fifth, the DH Dawson Schultz. Batting sixth will be right fielder Lance Whitmer. Batting seventh, the pitcher, Jared Garland. Batting eighth will be first baseman Jacob Schmitten. Batting ninth will be the shortstop, Jack Kuski. And Peyton Andrus will be defensively at third base. Jared Garland, the pitcher, batting for himself in the 7-hole. Meanwhile, for the Moses Lake Chiefs, as announced by their head coach, Donnie Lindgren, batting first will be the DH, Emmett Tatum. Batting second will be first baseman Dax Lundgren. Batting third is the third baseman Dominic Signorelli. Batting fourth at second base, Zach Valdez. Batting fifth, center fielder Evan McLean. Batting sixth will be left fielder Gabe Passy. Batting seventh, shortstop Cody Alvarado. Batting eighth, the catcher Josh Jesse. And batting ninth will be right fielder Josh Williams. Meanwhile, Jordan Rios will get the start on the mound here for Moses Lake in the second game of the doubleheader. Appreciate you joining us on the NCW Life Channel. Eric Grandstrom with you here on the play-by-play. Moses Lake winning earlier this week, as we mentioned, by a score of 5-1, and then winning the opener here today by a score of 6-2. And Coach Brandon Schmitten hoping for a lot better defensive play for his club here in this second game as they committed 5 errors in the first game. 5 on the scoreboard. Schmitten told me that it was 6 errors on his scoreboard. Nonetheless, some defensive lapses, to say the least, for Eastmont in our first game. So game 2 just underway here, or just about to get underway. Under cloudy skies, we have threatening weather this weekend here in the Wenatchee Valley, with heavy showers expected tonight and tomorrow. So far, we've had some light raindrops, a little drizzle, but nothing to impact the play so far. So we'll keep our fingers crossed as we are ready to go here. Emmett Tatum, the junior designated hitter, will start it off here in the top of the first inning. And the first pitch on the way to him is right down the middle for a strike by Jared Garland. 0-1 the count on Emmett Tatum. Duncan Favor, who got the start in game 1, is out in left field here defensively for the Wildcats. This pitch misses just a little bit low for a ball, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch, a little high, ball 2. Jared Garland on the mound here for Eastmont, trying to get things started here defensively for the Wildcats. This pitch swung on and hit hard right past the second base bag into center field, where Devin Schneider will field it. So a leadoff base hit to center for Tatum. And that'll bring up the first baseman, sophomore Dax Lindgren. Our broadcast today brought to you in part by Wenatchee Valley YMCA. For youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility, it's the YMCA of the Wenatchee Valley. Lindgren steps in from the left side against the right-hander on the mound. Jarrett Garland squares to bunt, tried to fan at it, but missed it. Ball in the ground, and the umpire does not feign to show us that it was a strike, so he says ball one. 1-0 the count on Lindgren as they keep an eye on Emmett Tatum out there at first base. Holding him on is first baseman Jacob Schmitten. The right-hander Garland comes set, and the runner goes. The pitch swung on, and a line drive foul down the right field line will even the count at 1-1 strike, and Tatum will have to retreat back to the first base bag. Our broadcast also brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all sports-related injuries, and Heritage Memorial Chapel, a funeral home with a heritage owned by a trusted friend. 1-1 to count on the number 2 hitter for Moses Lake, Dax Lindgren. Chiefs got off to a big start in the first game thanks to some defensive lapses for Eastmont, scoring 3 runs in the first inning. The runner again goes. The pitch is down low. The throw to second base may have gotten him if the shortstop, Jack Kutsky, could have squeezed that ball, but nope, stolen base here for Tatum. So Moses Lake with a runner in scoring position. That ball, the pitch was a ball, so it's 2-1 now to count to Lindgren. So runner in scoring position. Now Garland checks him out there at second base. This curveball is in for a strike, and the count evens at 2 strikes. Dominic Signorelli waiting on deck here for the Chiefs, who with the win in game 1 today improved over 500. They're now 3-2 in Big 9 play, 5-2 on the season. Here comes the 2-2 delivery from Garland. It's a curveball swung on, and out in front of that one was Lindgren. It trickles foul up the first baseline. And the count remains at 2 strikes, and back to second base goes Emmett Tatum. Defense in the outfield playing pretty much straight away. Favor in left, Schneider in center, and Whitmer out in right for Eastmont. The 2-2 delivery again, swung on and chopped over the mound towards second base. Backhanding the ball is Morrow. His throw to first in time to get the runner. Meanwhile, down to third goes Tatum on the play. 4-3 on the putout for the first out here in the first, and that brings up the third baseman, Dominic Signorelli. Signorelli, a junior for the Chiefs, steps in again from the left-handed batter's side. Garland still working from the stretch. The pitch swung on and fouled back behind home plate, and the count 0-1 on Signorelli. Zach Valdez waiting on deck here for Moses Lake. Chiefs third batter to the plate here in the top of the first. Scoreless so far in game 2 of this twin bill here today at Dan White Field. The 0-1 pitch swung on and chopped hard through the gap. That's going to go into right field for a base hit and an RBI as Tatum jogs home on the play. Whitmer brings the ball back in, but give an RBI single to Dominic Signorelli, and Moses Lake jumps out on top 1-0. That'll bring up the second baseman, Zach Valdez. Senior steps in the right-handed batter's box to face Jared Garland. Pretty good lead by Signorelli at first. The pitch to the plate is a little outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count on Zach Valdez. Defense around the infield. Schmitten at first, Morrow at second, Kutsky the shortstop, and Andrus at third base. The 1-0 pitch is in the dirt. Check swing. The runner takes off towards second. The throw down, not in time, as it was off the bag on the first base side of second base. As Kyler Morrow is able to squeeze it out there. So a stolen base on a ball in the dirt for ball 2 to Valdez. And again, the Chiefs in business here in the top of the first with 1 out. Garland with a long look into Jackson Brown, and here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and chopped foul behind home plate. Got a piece of the catcher and a piece of the umpire. And the count runs to 2-1 strike. Looking at the flag out in right center field, it is limp at this time, so no wind at all. We are expecting heavy, heavy winds by Saturday afternoon. here on this Friday. Kind of a calm day so far. Swing and a miss on a pitch. He was out in front of Valdez. That pitch low and in the dirt. Probably could have been ball 3, but the count evens now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's 3:28 down the lines here at Dan White Field. Very tall fence around the outfield. Probably about 12 feet tall. This pitch is a strike called. Gone looking for the second out. And the first strikeout by Garland is Valdez. That'll bring up the center fielder, Evan McLean. McLean also in the right-handed batter's box. Spent some time defensively in game 1 in the field as well as on the mound for the Chiefs. The first pitch to him is a curveball missing a little high for ball 1. 1-0 the count to McLean. 1 in, 1 on, 2 down for Moses Lake here, top of the first inning. Just underway at Eastmont's Dan White Field. The 1-0 pitch to McLean, swung on and hit in the air to right center. Schneider with a late break on it, but will get over to his left in range to make the catch, and that will be the out. So Moses Lake gets a run on a base hit. They leave a man, actually 2 base hits in that first inning. We'll head to the bottom of the first. The Chiefs won, and Eastmont due up next. You're watching Eastmont Baseball today on the NCW Life Channel. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back once again here to Dan White Field as the Moses Lake Chiefs score 1 in the first on a couple of base hits. Eastmont will send Devin Schneider, Jackson Brown, and Kyler Morrow to the plate due up here in the bottom of the first inning to face Jordan Rios, right-hander on the mound for Moses Lake, wears number 18. Busy spring schedule for schools around the area. Kind of took a breather this week. It's been, this is the last day of the week for spring break. Not a lot of activity this week. A little bit of soccer and some baseball. But for the most part, most of the sports for area high schools taking the actual break during spring break. Now, whether or not they had practice or not, that's a whole nother conversation. So here we go, bottom of the first inning. Devin Schneider will lead things off. How many times you see that with a play defensively for the final out of the last half of an inning leads to that man coming to the plate to start the next offensive set. Such is the case here. And the first pitch is a fastball missing low for ball 1. 1-0 the count as Schneider steps in for Eastmont. Next pitch is a taken strike, and even the count to Schneider at 1 ball and 1 strike. Schneider, a senior. Fantastic player for Eastmont High School. This pitch is a little bit low for a ball. 2-1 the count. Couple of base hits for Moses Lake in the top of the first led to a run. 1-0 the score, and the 2-1 pitch also missing low for ball 3. So Schneider just trying to get some base runners here for Eastmont. Early in this game, Jackson Brown waiting on deck here for the Wildcats. The 3-1 pitch on the way to Schneider, also missing low for ball 4. So Schneider aboard with a leadoff walk, just exactly what Coach Brandon Schmitten would love to see here. As the Wildcats get a man aboard, that brings up the catcher Jackson Brown. Kyler Morrow waiting on deck here for Eastmont. The windup. And the delivery by Rios, this time right down the pipe for a strike, 0-1 the count. Rios working from the stretch. Right-hander checks over his shoulder at the runner. The runner goes. The pitch is low for a ball to throw down to second base. Not in time. And a stolen base for Devin Schneider. So Moses Lake, exactly their recipe in the top half of this inning to put a runner in scoring position. So too for Eastmont, with a runner now out at second base and Devin Schneider in the count, even a ball and a strike to Jackson Brown. Rios ready. And the 1-1 pitch is high for a ball. 2-1. Trying to go off speed there. Missing was Jordan Rios. Dax Lundgren at first base. Zach Valdez at second base. Defensively here for the Chiefs. The 2-1 pitch misses low for ball 3. So Rios having a hard time finding the strike zone here, starting things off. Cody Alvarado is the shortstop. Dominic Signorelli at third base. That's the defense on the infield here for Moses Lake. 3-1 the count to Brown, and the pitch to the plate swung on, and he was out in front of that one, fouls it off in towards the dugout on the third base side. So the count runs full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rios with a long look into his catcher, Josh Jesse. And the 3-2 pitch swung on and hit foul again, and out in front of that pitch was Jackson Brown. So the count remains at 3-2. Duncan Favor will be batting cleanup here for Eastmont. The left fielder here in this second game of the nightcap. The 3-2 pitch swung on, lifted in the air to right field. That's going to drop down for a base hit. Schneider get around third, and Coach Schmitten going to hold him right there. So runners at the corners here for Eastmont as they get their first hit of the game. Schneider to third, Brown at first, and that brings up second baseman Kyler Morrow. We're going to get a little conversation here between the umpires, our crew from the Chelan County Umpires Association. Kyler Morrow steps out of the batter's box and takes a couple of practice swings. Coaching staffs for both sides looking on here as what the call might be. And now he's going to head over to the Moses Lake dugout to talk to Donnie Lindgren. I'm not sure if it was a case of the pitcher going to his mouth with the finger and then not wiping it off. He's pointing out to the pitcher's mound, so something apparently maybe prior to that last pitch. So the conversation with Coach Lindgren is over. Oh, he's talking about hands together and a box situation possibly. So some preventative officiating, if you will, there by our home plate umpire today. As Kyler Morrow will step in now for the Wildcats with business here in the bottom of the first, trailing at 1-0, but threatening with the runners on the corners here for Eastmont. Rios set after checking the runner at first. The pitch to the plate is swung on and fouled away on the first base side, and the count 0-1 to Kyler Morrow. Appreciate you watching us here today on the NCW Life Channel. Apologies for not being able to bring this game to you live. Had some technical issues that forced us to do this one on a tape delay, but hopefully just as good on the delay as it would have been live. The 0-1 pitch swung on and hit towards the third baseman. Fielding it is the third baseman cleanly, and they'll turn 2, but a run will score, and Eastmont has now tied it. 5-4-3 double play. As Brown is out at second for the first out, and Kyler Morrow, they turn 2 on him to get him out for the second out. So 2 down with a runner in. Tie game now, and Duncan Favor stepping in. The wind in delivery by Rios swung on and lifted in the air to right field. Should be an easy play over towards the line, and it is for Gabe Passy. And that'll do it for Eastmont. But they do get 1 run on 1 hit, nobody left. We will head to the second, all tied at 1. You're watching Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. We'll come back right after this. Well, appreciate you watching us here today on the NCW Life Channels. We bring you spring break baseball between Eastmont and Moses Lake, all tied at 1 as we head to the top of the second inning, and it'll be 6-7 and 8 due up here for Moses Lake in the top of the second. Gabe Passy, the sophomore, who made the final out of the bottom of the first, will step up here to lead off the second and rips the first pitch to him into left center field for a base hit. So that took no time at all for Moses Lake to get a base runner again. That'll bring up the shortstop, Cody Alvarado. So again, working from the stretch will be Jarrett Garland here for Eastmont. Big fellow wearing number 14 on his back as Cody Alvarado steps in the right-handed batter's box. He'll swear to bunt, bunts it up the third baseline. That's going to trickle foul, as coming up the line was Peyton Andrus to field the ball just foul. So the count will go 0-1 on Cody Alvarado. Gabe Passy will have to head back to the bag at first. Moses Lake with just the Lake written across the chest of their jersey tops. The 0-1 pitch, and scoring the bunt again was Alvarado, but he takes it low and outside for a ball. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. There were some other games that were happening around the area today. The 1-1 pitch is a bunt up the third baseline. This one is going to die in the grass fair. The throw to first is not in time. Bunt single by Cody Alvarado. And that puts runners at first and second and nobody out. And that brings up the catcher, Josh Jesse. Wenatchee coach Jeff Zender, I see here doing a little scouting, as Wenatchee has the day off today. Wenatchee in first place coming into this one at 6-0 in Big 9 play, 6-2 on the season. Scoring to bunt is the batter. The throw instead is out to second base. Covering on the play, Kyler Morrow, keeping a close eye on Passy out there. A lot of motion in the defensive set as the batter, Josh Jesse, was scoring the bunt. Moses Lake trying to put runners ahead another 90 feet here with nobody out and 2 on. The first pitch to the plate is swung on and missed. Hefty swing there by Jesse. 0-1 the count to Josh, the senior catcher for Moses Lake. He'll come up the third base line and talk to his coach. I think maybe he missed a sign there. Donnie Lindgren having a talk with him. Aside from this doubleheader today, Eisenhower was at Sunnyside for a twin bill. West Valley at Davis for 2 games as well. We mentioned Moses Lake with a win earlier, improved their record in Big 9 play to 3-2, so that would move them up depending on what was happening in those other games. 0-1 the count to Jesse here after a talk with his coach. Garland checks the runner at second. The pitch to the plate is fouled at the plate on a bunt attempt, and the count goes to 0-2. 0-2 count, and boy, Jarrett Garland right now could use nothing more than a strikeout in this situation. See if they have enough confidence in Jesse's ability to bunt, to have him bunt with 2 strikes. He does square. The pitch is high for a ball. That's a good pitch by Garland. You don't want to give him something easy, and you want to throw it hard to maybe get the batter to pop the ball up into the air. Count now goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Josh Jesse, with Gabe Passy out at first, Cody Alvarado at second. The 1-2 pitch, low and outside, a throw down to second base, and dangerous throw, but a nice job by the shortstop, Jack Kuski, to field that ball. The count even now to Jesse at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Jackson Brown thinking maybe he had a chance to catch that runner out at second. Passy napping a little bit. 2-2 the count, and again Jesse squares to bunt. The bunt is down, but it is foul, and he is out. So the first down of the inning comes on a bunt attempt with 2 strikes. So the batter is out, and that'll bring up right fielder Josh Williams. Williams, a junior with number 3 on his back, will step into the right-handed batter's box. So far, no harm for Jared Garland and the Eastmont Wildcats. Now, looking to turn 2. The pitch to the plate, curveball in there for a strike, 0-1 to count, and good pitch by Jared Garland. Coming into the day, as we mentioned, Wenatchee in first place of the Big Nine. Eastmont was tied with Ike and West Valley for second, but Eastmont dropping back to 500 with the loss in the first game here. That pitch is swung on a hit off the end of the bat. A chance for 2. The relay to first base, not in time, though. A very quick Williams gets up the baseline. So it'll be a fielder's choice. 6-4 on the putout. Passy, meanwhile, moves down to third base. Alvarado out at second, so runners on the corners now with 2 down. And back to the top of the order here for Moses Lake for Emmett Tatum. Junior got a base hit to center and scored Moses Lake's only run back in the first. Back up again here in the second. The first pitch to him, curveball is in there for a strike, and the count 0-1 on Emmett Tatum. Devin Schneider out there in center field talking to Duncan Favor in left about how the ball came out their way last time around. The 0-1 pitch, a runner from first goes. The throw down to second base is cut off by the second baseman, thinking possibly that Passy would try to head home on the play. So give a stolen base to Josh Williams, as that will take the play off of second base now. The only play for the infield is at first on a ground ball to them. Count, meanwhile, to Tatum is a ball and a strike. The 1-1 pitch swung on and hit in the air through the gap. It's going to go for 1 run for sure. Rounding third, heading for home. The throw is high, skying over everybody. And out at second base, holding there, will be the batter Emmett Tatum. So 1-2-run score on the play. So give a couple of RBIs to Emmett Tatum. I don't think they had much of a chance to get Josh Williams at home there. Tatum will move to second on the throw home, so give him a single and 2 RBIs. Moses Lake now leads it 3-1. And Dax Lindgren stepping in the left-handed batter's box. First pitch to him, curveball in for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 to count. Lindgren 0 for 1 of the game, grounded to second baseman Kyler Morrow in his first at-bat in the first. Garland ready. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and hit foul towards the Moses Lake dugout on the first base side. So the count runs to 0-2 on Dax Lindgren. Moses Lake came in third place, but then bumped their record up with the win in the first game of the doubleheader today. Davis and Sunnyside on the bottom of the Big Nine stack. The 0-2 pitch on the way is missing just outside for a ball. 1-2 to count to Lindgren. If you want to check out our broadcast schedule, head to our website, ncwlife.com. See what our plans are for the rest of the spring. This pitch swung on a hit hard right past the mound into center field. They're going to send the runner from third. Here comes the play at the plate, and the throw is in time, but the ball not caught. Oh, they're going to throw a man out of the game here because of a collision at home, and they're going to say out at home with the collision because he didn't try to avoid the catcher, and the runner coming home is ejected from the game. The umpire at home is going to check with his counterpart out on the base paths, but right now, because of that, it was a great throw home from Devin Schneider. So that was a base hit for Lindgren. But then caught coming home, Emmett Tatum. And apparently Tatum's being ejected from the game. Now we're going to hold on here until the umpires have their conversation before we go to a commercial break and make sure that we are correct in the assumption here. But the safety now, precautions taken for the catchers at home, such that they are protecting the catcher. And so, yes, out is the call. And then the runner is also ejected from the game for not trying to avoid the catcher. So that is the call, and it's a 3-1 game. Moses Lake on top of Eastmont. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, we'll take a break and come back. You're watching Eastmont Baseball today on the NCW Life Channel. Well, interesting play to end the top half of the second inning. And for Eastmont, they'll take the out and also take the removal of the DH for Moses Lake as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Dawson Schultz will lead things off. First pitch to him is a strike call. Looked a little low, but the home plate umpire says strike one. 0-1 the count to Schultz as it's a 3-1 contest now. Moses Lake on top. This pitch swung on, but he was behind it, fouling it up the first baseline. So the count goes to 0-2. Lance Whitmer, Jared Garland also due up here for Eastmont in their half of the second. The 0-2 pitch on the way, misses outside and high, 1-2 the count. So interesting developments with the runner interference called on the man coming home, and now this pop-up down the right field line is going to miss everybody. Nice attempt down there in foul territory by Gabe Passy, as he was running towards that bullpen mound, causing some trepidation for first baseman Dax Lundgren. And the count stays at 1-2 strikes to Schultz as he'll get back in the right-handed batter's box. The pitch by Rios to him misses, bouncing in for a ball. And the count evens at 2-2 strikes. This pitch swung on and grounded towards the shortstop, overfielding it cleanly and throwing in time to first base is the shortstop Cody Alvarado. That goes 6-4 on the putout. One out here in the second. Brings up, the right fielder Lance Whitmer. First time for Whitmer to come to the plate here in this one, and the first pitch by Rios right down the middle for a strike, 0-1. 3-1 ball game. The 0-1 pitch swung on and lifted in the air to right field. That's going to get down for a base hit and more. The right fielder diving, couldn't get up to it. So rounding first, heading for second. And in at second base with a stand-up double will be Lance Whitmer. Tough play for right fielder Gabe Passy, making a diving attempt at the ball. And that ball goes by him. It was down for a base hit no matter what, and will go down as a double for Whitmer. So a runner at second in scoring position for Eastmont with one down, and that brings up Jared Garland. Garland in the right-handed batter's box, crowding that plate a little bit here against Rios, and the first pitch to him is taken for a ball, 1-0 the count. So Garland with a chance to help his own cause here, pitcher for Eastmont. Stepping in with that bright green and white bat wagging behind his head. And the 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike, and the count evens at 1-1 strike on Jared Garland. Number 7 batter in the order here for Eastmont. Jack Kuski, Jacob Schmitten actually on deck waiting for a chance here. 1-1 pitch swung on, lifted in the air to right center field. That's going to drop down for a base hit. Going to third, rounding third. They're going to hold the runner there. My goodness, I thought maybe they had a chance, but Brandon Schmitten says, nope, we're going to hold you right here at third base, he says to Lance Whitmer. Meanwhile, a long single for Jared Garland. Runners on the corners here for Eastmont. And that brings up Jacob Schmitten. So Eastmont back in business here in their half of the second inning, as Schmitten steps up, the first baseman for Eastmont. Schmitten got in the first game as a pinch hitter. I think he was the final out of the first game as Eastmont fell to Moses Lake by a score of 6-2 in the opener. First pitch to Schmitten here, swung on, lifted in the air to left center. Center fielder over will field. The runner from third tags. Here comes the throw in. It'll be cut off by the shortstop, and a run will score on the sac fly. Give it RBI to Schmitten. It's now 3-2 Moses Lake. Lance Whitmer tagging up from third on the play. Garland will hold at first. Goes out as a sac F8. 2 down and back to the top of the order for center. Don't miss out on Jack Husky. So Jack Husky stepping in now for Eastmont. And the first pitch taken for a ball. 1-0 the count to Husky, the shortstop for Eastmont. Garland quickly back to the bag at first. Chase back over there. I think they've got a courtesy runner over there. Kaylor Cannon is running for Garland at first base. This pitch swung on and fouled back behind home plate. Count evens at 1-1 strike. And boy, looking across the valley now towards Wenatchee, we have some ugly looking clouds moving in, and it looks like some raindrops are starting to fall here. So keep an eye on that. So too will the umpires. 1-1 the count to Husky, and the pitch by Rios is right down the middle for a strike with that fastball. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Rios twisting at his waist, looking over at the runner at first base, and the 1-2 pitch to the plate, swung on and chopped right back to the mound, backhanding the ball as Rios. He'll toss it softly over to first in time to record the final out, but Eastmont does get a run back on 2 hits, 1 man left. We'll head to the third. Moses Lake leading Eastmont 3-2. You're watching Wildcat Baseball today on the NCW Life Channel. We'll be back after this. Well, close one here, 3-2 the score as we head to the top of the third inning. Due up for Moses Lake. It'll be number 3, 4, 5 hitters in the order. Dominic Signorelli, Zach Valdez, and Evan McLean. Signorelli leading it off here with an RBI single in his first at bat in the first. The first pitch to him here, curveball misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count. 3 runs, 6 hits for Moses Lake. 2 runs, 3 hits for Eastmont so far in this one. The 1-0 pitch is a little bit outside for a ball. 2-0 the count on Signorelli. Junior third baseman for Moses Lake swings at the next pitch on a couple of hops right to Morrow. He'll toss over easily to Schmitten, and 1 up, 1 down here. The story for Moses Lake. Solid defensive play for Kyler Morrow, and that'll bring up second baseman Zach Valdez. Valdez struck out looking in his first plate appearance on a 2-2 pitch. Froze him, did Garland, and the first pitch to him here, curveball in for a strike. Well, Garland's had much more success with that curveball, finding the strike zone here early against Moses Lake. The 0-1 pitch on the way is swung on and fouled away down the first base line and out of play, and the count goes quickly 0-2 on Zach Valdez. April here, and before you know it, apple blossom time. This pitch is a little bit high for a ball. 1-2 the count to Valdez. And we've got your apple blossom coverage right here on the NCW Life Channel. The 1-2 pitch from Garland is a curve missing high for ball 2. So again, 2 at-bats in a row here for Valdez. Has worked the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch is a fastball just a little bit low. Count runs full to 3-2. The Kais Fiber Youth Parade will have that live here on the NCW Life Channel the final Saturday of April. This pitch is inside and apparently hit him. Oh no, that was ball 4. That's what happened there on a full count. Missed it inside, so the count now. Evan McLean will step in. He's 0 for 1, flew out to center in his first at bat. Valdez gives Moses Lake yet another base runner here for 3 innings in a row. The pitch to the plate is a curve in for a strike, and the count of 1-1. We'll have the Les Schwab Classy Chassis Parade on the first Friday of May. And then, of course, the Milk Growers Grand Parade right here on the NCW Life Channel. This pitch swung on and fouled back behind home plate. The count 0-2 on McLean, center fielder for Moses Lake. Umpire gets a little help from the on-deck batter Gabe Passy, who chases that ball down next to the backstop. The 0-2 pitch high for a ball, and that may have been a pitch out. It was just kind of high as Jackson Brown jumped from behind home plate and took a quick look down the bag at first, but back there was Valdez. The 1-2 pitch is a curveball low, and the runner from first was way off the bag, but Brown couldn't field the ball cleanly behind home plate. He would have had Valdez picked off easily out there, but couldn't find a handle on the ball. I believe we do have some raindrops falling here at Dan White Field. 2-2 count. Garland's pitch to the plate, swung on and missed. That's the second out here of the third. Goes down as the third strikeout of the game for Jared Garland. And that'll bring up left fielder Gabe Passy. Passy with a base hit and a run scored in the second. 1 for 1 in this one so far. Garland's been working from the stretch more than he has from the windup here in this one. Pitch to the plate, curveball, again in for a strike. He's managed that first pitch curveball in the strike zone just about every time he's decided to throw it. Garland again set, and the 0-1 pitch from the right-hander is outside and low, and a nice job by Jackson Brown to corral that one, as the count is even now at a ball and a strike. You can feel the wetness in the air here. I'm trying to find a puddle or something. This pitch swung on and hit in the air to center field. Devin Schneider's going to have this one corralled, and that'll be the final out. So finally an inning goes past without any damage done on the scoreboard for Moses Lake. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Moses Lake leading at 3-2. You're watching Eastmont Baseball today on the NCW Life Channel. Thanks for joining us here on the NCW Life Channel. Big Nine Baseball on the broadcast today as we head to the bottom of the third inning. It is a tight one here between Eastmont and Moses Lake. 3-2 score. Chiefs on top, and to the top of the order for Eastmont here. Devin Schneider, Jackson Brown, and Kyler Morrow do up here in the third. For the Wildcats, 2 runs on 3 hits in this one so far. Devin Schneider got aboard on a walk in the first. He stole a base and scored a run. First pitch to him from Jordan Rios is a strike taken, fastball right across the knees. 0-1 to count on Devin Schneider. The 0-1 pitch to Schneider swung on and lifted in the air to right field, and the right fielder kind of spun around in a circle and finally comes in. Williams on the catch, and that'll be out number 1 here for Eastmont. And it brings up catcher Jackson Brown. This is the weekend. By the time we get this broadcast on, it'll be over. But this is the weekend for the Triple Crown Baseball Wenatchee Season Opener Tournament, as Jackson Brown fouls off the first pitch to him back behind home plate, and the count 0-1 on Brown. 137 teams from throughout the Pacific Northwest converging in the Wenatchee Valley for baseball. This fastball misses low. Evens the count to Brown, a 1-1 strike as Josh Jesse framed that one for the umpire for an extended period. Rios with the 1-1 pitch, swung on and grounded to third. Right there, Signorelli. He'll scoop and throw, and it's in time for the out. 5-3 on the putout. 2 down for Eastmont here in the third, brings up second baseman Kyler Morrow. Morrow grounded into a double play in his first at bat, so he's 0 for 1. As Moses Lake went around the horn, Signorelli to Valdez to Lundgren in his first at bat back of the first. 2 down here, nobody on, and the first pitch taken for a ball. 1-0 the count. But you figure that 137 teams, if they have 12 players per team, and some of them have way more than that, that's about 1,600 kids playing baseball in the Wenatchee Valley throughout the weekend at 12 different fields and complexes, stretching from Leavenworth to Cashmere to Wenatchee and East Wenatchee. The 2-0 pitch to the plate swung on and hit foul into the dugout on the third base side. So the count goes to 2-1 on Kyler Morrow. Hoping for good enough weather for that to happen, with the game starting at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. This pitch swung on and hit in the air. That's going to get down for a base hit and maybe more. Going through the gap, rounding first, heading for second. Center fielder juggles the ball in, standing with a double. 2 outs, Kyler Morrow for Eastmont. Evan McLean had a hard time grabbing a hold of that ball once he finally got to it in the gap between center and right. So Eastmont with a 2-out double brings up left fielder Duncan Favor. Favor 0 for 1. He flew out to right back in the first to end the first inning for the Wildcats. Got a timeout taken and a box going to be called here. And so down to third goes Kyler Morrow. Jordan Rios was warned about the box situation to start the ball game, and now has balked a runner to third base. The first pitch here is missing, apparently inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. My broadcast location is behind the dugout on the third base side, so being able to tell inside outside, I have to look at the catcher's glove to see it. And this pitch also misses inside, so the count goes to 2-0 on Duncan Favor. You see our broadcast angle from the camera out there in left field. This pitch swung on and hit in the air to shallow center. Second baseman going out. Instead, it'll be Williams, the right fielder, who will make the catch. And that'll do it for Eastmont. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on. We'll head to the 4th inning of play. And 3-2 the score remains. Moses Lake up by 1. You're watching Eastmont Baseball today on the NCW Life Channel. To the 4th inning we go. First pitch by Jared Garland is a little bit outside for ball 1 to Cody Alvarado. The shortstop for Moses Lake had a bunt hit in the second. Moses Lake scoring 2 runs in that frame. This pitch taken for a strike and evens the count to Alvarado at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cody back in, Jared ready to go. This pitch swung on and laced to center field, but playing in was Devin Schneider, and he catches that line drive for an out. 1 out here in the 4th, and that brings up catcher Josh Jesse. Jesse struck out swinging in the second. Well, he struck out on a bunt attempt with 2 strikes on him, but hold on. We've got a pinch hitter coming in. So announcing Cody Goodwin here as the pinch hitter. So they got that all taken care of, and now the umpire will make his notations in his lineup card. So Josh Jesse out of the lineup here. Cody Goodwin taken over, at least in the batting order. Curious how this works with the leadoff man, Emmett Tatum, that was ejected from the game with a collision with the catcher here earlier, how that works with the number 1 man in the order. First pitch misses high for a ball to Goodwin, and the count 1-0 on Cody. The wind and delivery by Garland here, also missing high for ball 2, 2-0. Cody Goodwin, senior, listed as a catcher and first baseman. This pitch swung on, hit well into left center field. That's going to go all the way to the base of the fence. Rounding first and heading for second. A stand-up double for Cody Goodwin. That ball just kept carrying and carrying. Devin Schneider had no chance to chase that one down as it hit out on the edge of the batter's eye. And now a courtesy runner will come in and run at second base. is Trey Ramirez. So Ramirez will run for a good one. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Josh Williams. Williams got aboard on a fielder's choice in the second and scored a run on the 2-run single by Emmett Tatum. And I see warming up on deck here is Vance Alvarado. And the first pitch misses for a ball to Josh Williams, 1-0 the count. So looks like Vance Alvarado will take the batting place of Emmett Tatum. This fastball in there for a strike, snapping the webbing of the glove of Jackson Brown, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, 1 on here in the 4th for the Chiefs, leading at 3-2 over Eastmont. Garland ready, checks the runner. The pitch to the plate is a curve missing just outside for ball 2. 7 hits in the ball game now for the Chiefs, as Ramirez leads off the courtesy runner out there at second base. And the 2-1 pitch to the plate swung on and fouled back behind home plate and over towards a big pine tree that's right along the irrigation ditch here near Dan White Field. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Irrigation ditch is not filled yet. Probably about another week away from getting the ditches filled. The 2-2 pitch from Garland is swung on and hit hard, but right at the third baseman, and they're going to double up the runner at second. Nice play by Peyton Andrus to make the double play. Started off on the line drive out, and then the double play as he threw it over to Kyler Morrow. And they are able to double up Ramirez over there. No chance for him. So that'll do it here for Moses Lake. As they get a base hit, no runs, and nobody left on. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-2, Chiefs on top. You're watching Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Light rain continues to fall here at Dan White Field. 3-2 the score. Moses Lake is up by 1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The first pitch is swung on and fouled off by Dawson Schultz. 0-1 the count to Schultz, who's 0-1 of the ball game, 0 for 1 of the ball game. He grounded out to the shortstop back in the second. Jordan Rios works with a new battery mate behind the plate here as this pitch is swung on and hits the right lamp in the light stanchion here, right mounted to the back of the dugout on the first base side. The light stayed on, however, so credit to GE or whatever bulb that is in that light stanchion withstood the foul ball direct to it. The 0-2 pitch to the plate misses way outside for a ball to Dawson Schultz. 1-2 the count here in the 4th. Schultz followed by Lance Whitmer and Jared Garland for Eastmont. Cody Goodwin, by the way, the new catcher now for Moses Lake. 1-2 pitch swung on and again fouled down the right side and out of play. It's going to ricochet around the irrigation canal nearby. The count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes on Schultz. And again, the quick delivery to the plate. This pitch swung on and flown to right field. And an easy play for Williams over there. And 1 out here in the 4th brings up the right fielder, Lance Whitmer. Whitmer with a double in the gap between center and right in the second. He scored Eastmont's only run on the sac fly by Jacob Schmitten. And the first pitch to him by Rios is taken for a strike on the knees. 0-1 the count to the right fielder for Eastmont. The 0-1 pitch by Rios, swung on and hit past the first baseman into right field. Right fielder coming in, he'll field. I thought maybe he was going to try to throw to the bag at first, but no. So give a 1-out single to Whitmer. So he's 2 for 2 on the game. And that'll bring up pitcher Jared Garland. Garland with a base hit in his first at bat into right center. He's 1 for 1. That happened back in the second. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Chiefs on top 4-2. Look out. Pass or throw over to the bag at first. And barely getting back was Whitmer. Nice move by Rios. Rios does have one balk in this ball game, so the umpire is watching him closely. The pitch to the plate, fastball misses high to Garland, 1-0 the count. So again, Jared with a chance to help his own cause here for Eastmont as he looks down to the third base coach's box. Brandon Schmitten going through the signs. 1-0 the count here to Garland. And the pitch by Rios. As the runner goes, the pitch swung on him, fouled away over the first base dugout. And the count stays or goes to a ball and a strike here on Garland. So a little run and hit action for Eastmont. And a nice idea going to the right on the pitch by Garland with the runner or the first baseman holding the runner on at first. That creates quite a gap there between first and second. So good idea to go with a pitch outside, maybe dribble it into the hole. 1-1 pitch to the plate, swung on a hit towards the shortstop. Double play chance, and they do turn two. And that will retire the side here for Eastmont. 6-4-3 on the twin killing. As that will end the threat for the Wildcats. We will head to the fifth inning of play. Still, Moses Lake 3, Eastmont 2. You're watching Wildcat Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Thanks for watching Eastmont Baseball today here on the NCW Life Channel as we head to the top of the fifth inning. Good one here, 3-2. Moses Lake on top, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. Eastmont 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. And we start off the fifth at the top of the order. Vance Alvarado taking over the DH spot for Emmett Tatum, who was ejected from the game after a collision with the catcher. This first pitch swung on and popped up in the air to shallow left field. And Favor will come in and make the catch for the out. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the fifth brings up first baseman Dax Lindgren. Lindgren, 1 for 2 in the game. He grounded out to second in the first and singled to center in the second. So middle of the infield be ready here. The wind delivery by Garland to the plate, swung on and hit in the air to right field, and that's going to go way over the head of right fielder Lance Whitmer all the way to the fence. Rounding first, heading in for second with a stand-up double is Dax Lindgren. All the way to the fence on a hop. On that ball crushed. So 2 pitches and 2 swings here for the Chiefs. So very aggressive here in the fifth inning against Jared Garland. Runner at second base brings up third baseman Dominic Signorelli. He's 1 for 2, had an RBI single in the first and grounded out to second in the third. First pitch to him here, taking the curveball for a strike, 0-1 the count on Signorelli. In the left-handed batter's box, Garland gets the sign from his catcher Jackson Brown. The 0-1 pitch to the plate bounces in. Nice stop by Brown. Holding at second base is Lindgren, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Now last time, one on one the count to Signorelli here. He hit a 2-0 pitch right at Kyler Morrow. This pitch swung on and hit past Kyler Morrow into right field. The runner from second's going to round third, head for home. Here comes the throw home, and it is off the catcher's glove. Backing up on the play is the pitcher, but the throw out to second is not fielded cleanly. And so down to second base goes Signorelli. So give Signorelli an RBI with a base hit, and then he'll move to second on the throw. So they could give an error possibly on the throw out to second base, or at least on the catch out there. We'll see about that. Yes, they will put an error. I think that'll be on Kyler Morrow. So another run in. Moses Lake up 4-2, and that'll bring up second baseman Zach Valdez. Valdez hits the first pitch to him towards Devin Schneider. Schneider comes up with a catch and it's going to throw in and double up the runner at second base. Beautiful play by Devin Schneider. Diving catch out there in shallow left center field. Schneider able to double up Signorelli, and that will do it here for Moses Lake. But they do get a run on 2 hits, nobody left. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Moses Lake 4, Eastmont 2. You're watching Wildcat Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Well, another run put up on the board in the top of the 5th inning. Here we go to the bottom of the 5th. Eastmont trailing it by 2 now, as Jacob Schmitten will start things off for the Wildcats. And the first pitch to him by Rios is a fastball missing low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Schmitten with a sac fly and an RBI back in the second. Give Eastmont its second run of the game. This pitch misses low for ball 2. So 2-0 the count on Schmitten. Number 8 hitter in the order for Eastmont. It'll be followed by Jack Kuski and Devin Schneider here in the bottom of the 5th. The 2-0 pitch is right down the middle for a strike, taking all the way was Schmitten. And the count goes to 2-1. Rios shakes off the first sign from Goodwin, and here comes the 2-1 pitch, missing low for ball 3. Just 1 walk in the ballgame so far for Rios. Danger here. The 3-1 pitch is swung on and hit foul up the third baseline, and the count now runs full to Schmitten at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our broadcast brought to you in part by the Wenatchee Valley YMCA for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. It's the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. 3-2 pitch across but low for ball 4. So the second walk is a leadoff walk here in the 5th for Eastmont. Schmitten down to first base, and that'll bring up shortstop Jack Kuski. Kuski, 3 sports varsity player, football, basketball, and now baseball for the Wildcats. First pitch to him is a bunt right in front of the plate. Good bunt. Pitcher off the mound will field and throw to first base in time to get the out. So a nice sacrifice there by Kuski. 1-3 on the putouts, and down to second goes Schmitten. And back to the top of the order for Eastmont for center fielder Devin Schneider. Schneider with a fantastic diving catch on the ball in shallow left center field, and then doubling up the runner at second base to end the threat for Moses Lake in the top half of this inning. A chance to get some retribution here. The pitch to the plate swung on and hit foul into the screen behind home plate. The count 0-1 on Schneider, who's 0 for 1 of the game. He walked and scored in the first, flew out to right in the third. Jacob Schmitten out there at second base now after getting aboard on a leadoff walk. The 0-1 pitch from Rios after a long look at second is inside for a ball. And the count even to Schneider in 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, the temperatures have dipped here, or it just feels cold because of the moisture in the air. Kind of a mild day today. The 1-1 pitch to the plate is across for a strike, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Schneider. A 1/10 to a 1/4 inch of rain expected tonight in the Wenatchee Valley, and then another 1/10 to a 1/4 inch tomorrow morning, and then really, really windy Saturday afternoon and most of the day on Sunday. The 1-2 pitch after a check of the runner at second by Rios is swung on a chop towards the third baseman. Ines Signorelli, he'll look at the runner at second, then throw over to first in time for the out. 5-3 on the putout for the second out here in the 5th. Staying at second was Schmitten on the play, and that brings up catcher Jackson Brown. So Brown steps in. Rios looking in for the sign from Cody Goodwin, his catcher. And the right-hander's delivery to the plate. Swung on and hit hard and right underneath the shortstop's glove. They're going to hold the runner at third as the throw comes home way off the line. Goes off the catcher's glove, but no run from third base. No movement there by Jacob Schmitten. That's going to be an error on the shortstop on the play on the ball of Jackson Brown. Brown, meanwhile, stayed at first base. He may have had a chance to scamper down to second, but all the runners hold. 2 outs, runners on the corners, brings up second baseman Kyler Morrow. Morrow hit into a double play in the first and then doubled in the third. Eastmont with the tying run aboard at first base with 2 down here in the 5th. And the first pitch swung on and hit foul behind home plate to Kyler Morrow. He had that one timed well. It just swung under it. 0-1 the count on Morrow. 1 for 2 in the game, and Coach Brandon Schmitten over there at third base would love for Kyler to come up with another double here and score both of these runners on the base paths. The 0-1 pitch from Rios on the way to the plate, swung on a chop towards the right side of the infield. The second baseman will field and throw, and it's in time to get the out. And that'll end the threat here for Eastmont on a 4-3 put out for the third out of the inning. So Eastmont gets a couple of runners aboard on a walk and an error. 2 men left on. We'll head to the 6th inning. Chiefs 4, Wildcats 2. You're watching Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Well, here we go to the 6th inning of play. Eastmont with a golden opportunity in the bottom of the 5th. Leave a couple of men aboard. They still trail it by 2 here. 4-2 as we head to the top of the 6th. Evan McLean, Gabe Passy, and Cody Alvarado due up here for Moses Lake. 5, 6, and 7 batters in the lineup here for Coach Donnie Lindgren. McLean starting it off as 0 for 2 in the ball game with a fly out to center and a strikeout. Jared Garland's first pitch is a little low for a ball. 1-0 the count. Looking down towards the bullpen area for Eastmont. Nobody warming up behind Jared Garland as he works here in the 6th. The 1-0 pitch swung on and grounded towards the shortstop. Backhanding the ball is Kuski. The throw across to first base is in time. They got him. Beautiful play for Jack Kuski, backhanding the ball, firing across in time to get the out. 1 down here in the 6th, so that's back-to-back great defensive plays for Eastmont. Started on the final out, turned into a double play by Devin Schneider, and now a beautiful play by Jack Kuski in the gap at short. Gabe Passy now comes in, and the first pitch to him bounces in for a ball. 1-0 the count. Passy's 1 for 2 with a run scored. He singled to left center in the 2nd and flew out to center in the 3rd. The 1-0 pitch by Garland on the way to the plate is a fastball taken for a strike, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike on Gabe Passy. 1 down here in the 6th. The 1-1 pitch. Chopped foul on the third base side. 1-2. As we tape this game for a replay, Mariners in Minneapolis taking on the Twins. Series started on Thursday with a 4-2 loss. The 1-2 pitch here swung on and hit in the air to right center. Schneider roaming to his left will make the catch for the out. 2 up, 2 down for Moses Lake, and that'll bring up shortstop Cody Alvarado. Mariners with a day off today in that series and then resume on Saturday and Sunday. 8-game road trip for the Mariners. Their first streak of the season, unfortunately a losing streak right now. This pitch, curveball taken for a strike by Cody Alvarado. 0-1 the count to the shortstop, who is 1 for 2. Got aboard on a bunt single in the 2nd and lined out to center in the 4th. This pitch taken for a ball. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. High hopes for the Mariners this year. Of course, early injuries causing problems for Seattle's lineup. This pitch is low for a ball. 2-1. Nelson Cruz, in the opening series of the season, twisting his ankle, celebrating a home run in the dugout. This pitch swung on a hit in the gap Took a bad hop. Not much that Andrus could do with that one. That's going to be a seeing eye bouncing single in the gap between short and third for Cody Alvarado. So he's aboard with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up the new catcher, Cody Goodwin. Goodwin in his first at bat smacked one all the way to the wall in left center. So he's 1 for 1 and steps in here. The first pitch is a curveball in for a strike taken. 0-1 that counts on Cody Goodwin. So the Mariners with some early injury problems. This pitch swung on, a hit hard right past the pitcher Garland into center field for a base hit. So back-to-back base hits here for Moses Lake with 2 outs. And that'll bring up right fielder Josh Williams. Williams is 0 for 2, hit into a fielder's choice to the shortstop. In the second, he did score a run and then lined out to third in the fourth. So runners at first and second. 4-2 ball game. Jared Garland trying to hold things right where they are right now as he gets a new ball from the home plate umpire. Again, I'm trying to see the raindrops here. I just don't think it's really happening. If it is, just very light smattering of drops here and there. This pitch is inside, twisting the batter around. 1-0 the count on Williams. Catcher Mike Zunino straining his oblique before the season could even begin. Was a late scratch for the Mariners. This pitch swung on, a hit in the gap to center field. This is going to score run, maybe 2. A 1-run scores, and they're going to hold the runner at third base here on an RBI double by Josh Williams. And Moses Lake extends its lead now 5-2. Give an RBI to Williams as Alvarado scores from second base. Cody Goodwin winds up at third base on the play. Devin Schneider tracking that ball down in left center field, and that'll bring up the top of the order here, Vance Alvarado. Alvarado in his first plate appearance, replacing Emmett Tatum, popped up to shallow left on the first pitch to him back in the fifth. 5-2 the score now. 12 hits in the ballgame for Moses Lake. This pitch swung on, hit hard, deep to left field. Left fielder Favor going back, and it's a home run out of here. A 3-run shot for Vance Alvarado. You hear the Moses Lake fans absolutely giving their support as he's mobbed at home plate. Touching them all is Vance Alvarado. And that puts Moses Lake out in front 8-2. A 3-run home run blast on the first pitch thrown to Vance Alvarado. And that will get some action in the Eastmont bullpen as Dax Lindgren takes the first pitch here from Garland. 1-0 the count. Heading over to warm up here for the Wildcats is Kalen Massey. This pitch taken for a strike, and the count evens now to Lindgren at 1-1 strike. Lindgren 2 for 3 in the ball game, doubled and scored in the fifth. Suddenly, a tight ball game becomes not so with a crooked number here in the top of the sixth for Moses Lake. The 2-1 pitch swung on and fouled away, and that's behind our heads out of play here. Long run and almost a catch. I thought that ball was going to be way out of play, but a long run for Peyton Andrus sliding into the fence here over by the bullpen. Almost made that catch. Count evens to Lindgren now at 2 strikes on the foul ball. Must have had some English on it, curving back into the field of play here in foul territory. Garland ready. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit foul up the first base line. First base coach over there does a nice job fielding it with his bare hands. 2-2, the count remains on Lindgren with 4 runs in here in the 6th. The curveball swung on and hit again foul, and again another nice Ole play over there at first base by the first base coach. Jared Garland just trying to get this final out here. This pitch misses outside for ball 3, so the count runs full to Lindgren at 3 balls and 2 strikes as again Massey continues to warm up in the bullpen for Eastmont. 3-2 pitch swung on and hits on a hop, 2 hops out to second baseman, and right there for the plate Kyler Morrow, and that will finally retire the side, but not before Moses Lake gets 4 runs on 4 hits. The big hits, Vance Alvarado's 3-run home run. And as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, now lead it 8-2 over Eastmont. You're watching Wildcat Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Here we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. A lot of work to do for Eastmont. They now trail at 8-2 to Moses Lake. Duncan Favor, Dawson Schultz, and Lance Whitmer due up here in the 6th for Eastmont as Jordan Rios has a lot of room to work now on the mound for the Chiefs. And the first pitch is swung on and missed by Duncan Favor. Duncan's 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts to right field so far in this game. Leading it off here in the 6th. The 0-1 pitch bounces in about 2 feet short of home plate, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Our broadcast brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all sports-related injuries. This pitch swung on and chopped up the third baseline. Ina Signorelli, the ball goes under his glove and will be safe at first base. Duncan Favor. So Favor aboard with a leadoff single. You can't get them all at once. You can only get them one at a time. And so for Eastmont, they get a runner aboard. And they are going to say that's an error on the third baseman for Moses Lake. As Dawson Schultz will now step in. 0 for 2 games so far. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. 1-0 to Schultz. He grounded to short in the second, flew out to right in the fourth. The 1-0 pitch swung on and hit, foul on the third base side. And the count evens here at 1 ball and 1 strike. Our broadcast also brought to you in part by Heritage Memorial Chapel, a funeral home with a heritage owned by a trusted friend. The 1-1 delivery by Rios is a fastball missing high for ball 2. A dreary, chilly Friday afternoon here during spring break. This pitch swung on and hit hard in the gap. It's going to get into left field for a base hit. So Wildcats maybe with an answer here in the bottom of the 6th inning after giving up a 4 spot in the top half of this inning, trailing it now 8-2, but with the first 2 men aboard. A sharp base hit by Dawson Schultz, and that brings up right fielder Lance Whitmer. Whitmer's 2 for 2 with a double and a single and a run scored. But first, a conversation on the mound here for Moses Lake and their head coach with their entire defensive squad, Donnie Lindgren, and there will be a pitching change. And it looks like they're going to bring in Ezekiel Ochoa, man wearing number 8. So with the pitching change made, we'll take a break and come back. 8-2 the score. Moses Lake on top. Eastmont threatening here in the bottom of the 6th. We're back after this timeout. So a right-hander takes over on the mound here for Moses Lake, Ezekiel Ochoa. Jordan Rios goes 5+ innings. Right now has allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, that is. He is responsible for the 2 men on the base paths, and the first pitch to Lance Whitmer misses way outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Again, Whitmer, hot stick here for Eastmont in the game with a double and a single. Ducks on the ponds here as Eastmont trails at 8-2. The 1-0 pitch by Ochoa is taken for a strike, and the count evens to Whitmer at 1 ball and 1 strike. Both of Lance's hits have gone to the right side in this game so far. The double to right in the second and a single to right in the fourth. The 1-1 pitch is a fastball low and outside for ball 2. Umpire coming over to the mound here is going to brush off the pitching rubber a little bit, having a hard time seeing it from his position. And so now that the dusting is complete, we can resume play with a 2-1 count on Lance Whitmer. The Ochoa pitch is right down the middle for a strike, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jared Garland waiting on deck here for Eastmont, trailing at 8-2 after a 4 spot in the top half of this inning. We are in the bottom of the 6th. 2 aboard with Duncan Favor at second, Dawson Schultz at first. The pitch swung on and ripped to the right side. Didn't get past the diving second baseman into right field for a base hit. So runners around the horn here for Eastmont. And that brings up pitcher Jared Garland. Favor over at third, Schultz at second, Whitmer at first. Well, one way you could atone for giving up a 3-run home run in the top half of this inning is to jack a grand slam yourself, young man, as Jared Garland steps into the right-handed batter's box. The first pitch by Ochoa is high and outside for a ball. 1-0 to Jared Garland. Garland's 1 for 2, had a base hit in the second and hit into a double play to end the fourth. Ochoa's 1-0 pitch is down the middle for a strike, and the count even to Garland now at 1 ball and 1 strike. It seemed that 3-run home run in the top half of this inning may have taken the wind out of the sails of Eastmont, but the winds are blowing once again here. This pitch misses low for a ball. Good eye by Garland, and the count runs to 2-1. Favor at third, Schultz at second, Whitmer at first. No place to put Jared Garland. Ochoa, the 2-1 pitch, swung on and grounded over the mound. Second baseman will field to take it to the bag himself, throw to first in time for the double play. But on the play, Duncan Favor scores for Eastmont, and it's now a 8-3 contest. Schultz goes down to third. 4 unassisted, 3 on the double play. So 2 down for Eastmont, and the pitch swung on, hit deep to center field. Center fielder's going to have this one go all the way over his head, so a run's going to score. Meanwhile, digging in for second base is Jacob Schmitten, who takes the first pitch to him, lines it over McLean's head in center field, and scoring easily on the play is Dawson Schultz. So it's now 8-4. That'll bring up shortstop Jack Kuski. Kuski 0 for 1. Hit one back to the pitcher in the second. This pitch swung on and grounded towards the first baseman. He'll go to his right field and take it to the bag himself for the out, and that'll do it for Eastmont. But they do get a couple of runs back on a couple of base hits, make that 3 hits, an error, and 1 man left on. We'll head to the 7th inning of play. 8-4, Moses Lake on top. You're watching Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. We head to the top of the 7th inning, 8-4 the score. Moses Lake on top of Eastmont here, and a new pitcher coming into the ball game for the Wildcats. Caleb Massey Jr. will take over, right-hander on the mound for Eastmont here in the top of the 7th inning. Close the book on Jared Garland. He goes 6 innings, allowed 8 runs on 13 hits, struck out 3 and walked 1. The big hit for Moses Lake, the 3-run home run by Vance Alvarado. Also closed the book on Jordan Rios on the game. He does allow those 4 runs, 3 of which are earned. Struck out nobody and walked 2 batters. So that's the line for Jordan Rios, who stands to win this one right now, as it is 8-4. as we head to the top of the 7th. And the rains I can see now. Yeah, definitely rain falling here in East Wenatchee. Dominic Signorelli starts things off here in the 7th for Moses Lake, facing Kalen Massey. First pitch misses low and gets away from the catcher, Jackson Brown. 1-0 the count to Signorelli, who's 2 for 3 of the ball game. Has a couple of base hits and an RBI in his offensive opportunities here so far. The 1-0 pitch on the way to the plate misses low for a ball. 2-0 the count. So Kalen Massey taking over here for Eastmont. The right-hander set, and the 2-0 pitch to the plate swung on and fouled back behind home plate, and the count runs to 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, it's raining pretty good right now. I think it's been kind of misting here for a while, but some pretty good raindrops starting to fall now. The 2-1 pitch is inside for a ball. Runs the count to 3-1 on Signorelli. Moses Lake in 3 of the 6 innings so far, and now 4 of the 7 innings so far, have had the leadoff man aboard, as that's a base hit for Signorelli to left field. A little slipping and sliding for Duncan Favor out there on the ball that came to him as he went down, kind of had a hard time finding the handle and his footing out there. And that brings up second baseman Zach Valdez. Valdez 0 for 2, struck out, has flown out, and has walked. The pitch to him is a bunt attempt up the first baseline. It goes foul, and the count 0-1 on Valdez. Home plate umpire wants to talk to the base umpire, maybe about the rains happening right here. As we are in the top of the 7th inning with some considerable showers starting to fall, and this is the theme in our forecast for the night tonight. Haven't seen much as far as problems with the footing so far, other than the slip by Favor out there in left field. Conversation with our umpires is now concluded. 14 hits now in the ball game for Moses Lake. 8 runs on 14 hits, couple of errors. Eastmont 4 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Runner at first is Dominic Signorelli. 0-1 the count on Valdez. And I guess the discussion is about the mound and about where foot placement can go in relation to the rubber. So now that this conversation is concluded, I think we're ready for baseball again. How about that? Massey ready, and the 0-1 pitch is a bunt attempt, and they're going to say a strike. The pitch is way outside, but home plate umpire evidently said Zach Valdez pushed the barrel of the bat across the plate as the ball came over, and so the count goes to 0-2 on the second baseman for Moses Lake. Massey ready with the runner at first. The pitch to the plate swung on and grounded up the third baseline. Nice diving stop by Andrus, but it was in foul territory. And the count remains at 0-2. Big smile on the face of Peyton Andrus. They were telling me before the ball game, called up from the JV squad. Sophomore for Eastmont. This pitch swung on and tink high in the air to go out to left field. And right there is Duncan Favor to make the catch for the out. Staying at first base is Signorelli. 1 down here in the 7th. Brings up center fielder Evan McLean. McLean's 0 for the date so far. Flew out to center in the first. Struck out swinging in the third and grounded out to short in the 6th. First pitch by Massey on the way is swung on and hit foul over the right field line and out of play, and the count 0-1. Be bringing you more baseball as the season progresses. In fact, speaking of Apple Blossom Festival not far away, we'll be bringing you some Eastmont and Wenatchee baseball the week of Apple Blossom Festival. Swing and a miss there by McLean on a fastball by Massey. Also a quarterback on the football team here for the Eastmont Wildcats. Cleaning his cleats as things begin to stick with the rain falling here at Dan White Field. The 0-2 pitch on the way, misses high for a ball, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Good idea there. We'll give him anything fat over the plate to swing at. Maybe get him to try to chase one outside. McLean is ready, so too is Massey, and the 1-2 pitch. Curveball misses high for ball 2. Massey in his first inning of work here in relief gave up a single to Signorelli. He's still over there at first base. Then a fly out to Valdez for the first out. And now 2-2 pitch to McLean, swung on and lifted in the air to center field. Devin Schneider back about 6 steps, will make the catch for the out, and Signorelli will retreat back to the bag at first. So 2 down here in the 7th brings up left fielder Gabe Massey. I make that Passy. The sophomore for the Chiefs, 1 for 3 of the ball game with a base hit to center. He's also flown out twice to center. 2 down, runner aboard, and the pitch to the plate is a fastball in for a strike, and the count 0-1 on Gabe Passy. 8-4, Moses Lake leading in this one, trying to go for the season series sweep. This pitch swung on a grounded to the left side. Jack Kuski stopped the ball with his glove, but the glove came off as he went tumbling into the grass. Lost his hat. Everybody's smiling about that one, including Jack Kuski. Donnie Lindgren, the coach in the third base box for Moses Lake, comes up laughing on that one. I guess you could say that's a hot shot grounder. It took his glove off. But a base hit in the infield, as runners will be now at first and second base. That'll bring up shortstop Cody Alvarado. The pitch to the plate by Massey, swung on and lifted in the air. This is going to be trouble, dropping down in shallow right field. A runner rounding third, coming home. Here's the throw home, and the tag is in time. They got him. Beautiful throw from Lance Whitmer out there in shallow right field on a base hit that drops in. And he's able to throw home and cut down the runner, Signorelli, at the plate. So that will do it for Moses Lake. They get no runs, 3 hits. They leave 2. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. 8-4. Moses Lake on top. You're watching Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. 8-4 contest as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Eastmont will send to the plate the top of the order. Devin Schneider, Jackson Brown, and Kyler Morrow do up here in the 7th for the Wildcats. 8 runs, 15 hits, 2 errors for Moses Lake. 4 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for Eastmont. Schneider looking for his first hit of the ball game, and the first pitch he takes from Ezekiel Ochoa for a strike. 0-1 the count to the center fielder for Eastmont. The 0-1 pitch to the plate bounces in off of the plate, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. Schneider walked and scored in the first, flew out to right in the third, and grounded out to third in the 5th. This pitch misses outside for ball 2. 2-1. Considerable rains now falling here at Eastmont, as fans have tried to cover from the rain. Some have left. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed on a pitch that was low. Evens the count at 2-2 on the senior for Eastmont. Ezekiel Ochoa, pretty quick worker out there on the mound, and the right-hander's 2-2 delivery is across but a little bit low. Didn't miss by much, and the count runs full to Schneider at 3-2. They've had the lights on here at Eastmont throughout the ball games. Both games of the doubleheader. Eastmont falling in the first game by a score of 6-2, and trailing this one 8-4. Moses Lake going for the sweep. The 3-2 pitch is low and outside for a ball, and so Devin Schneider works himself aboard with a leadoff walk. Taking a look at the schedule for Eastmont. They've got a little break after this one. As they'll next play not until April 17th. So they've got 11 days between now and the next time they play. First pitch to Jackson Brown misses for a ball, 1-0 the count. The 1-0 pitch misses low again, and 2-0 quickly here on Jackson Brown. And a timeout going to be taken as Donnie Lindgren is going to come out to the mound and have a conversation with his pitcher and his infield. Coming up for Eastmont after today, they'll be here against Davis on April 17th and then travel to Davis for a doubleheader on the 20th. They'll travel to Sunnyside on April 24th and then host Sunnyside for a twin bill on the 27th. Then play here against Wenatchee on May 1st, and then at Wenatchee on Friday, May 4th at Rec Park with a doubleheader to end the regular season for the Wildcats. Conversation done on the mound as Coach Lindgren heads back to the dugout on the first base side. 2-0 the count here on Brown, with Devin Schneider leading off from first base. Eastmont, a lot of work to do here in the bottom of the seventh inning. This pitch is in there for a strike, and the count to 2-1 now on Jackson Brown. Brown's 1 for 2. Got aboard on a single to left in the first, grounded out to third in the third. Got aboard on an error on the shortstop in the sixth inning. Excuse me. Yeah, it was an error on the shortstop in the fifth. This pitch goes off the catcher's glove all the way to the backstop, and down to second goes Devin Schneider on a wild pitch. 3-1 the count on Jackson Brown now. You're going to start watching the slipperiness of the ball if it's wet, footing out there. Umpire's safety number one concern. The 3-1 pitch swung on a grounded to the left side. Signorelli will look at the runner, then throw to first base, but still coming down to second is Devin Schneider. He's in there safe. Well, Signorelli did it right. He looked him back towards the bag, but Devin Schneider very quick afoot and moves down to third base on the play. 5-3 on the putout on Jackson Brown for the first out here in the seventh. That'll bring up second baseman Kyler Morrow. Morrow make that 1 for 3. Hit into a double play in the first as he takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1 the count. Doubled to center field in the third and grounded out to second in the fifth. The 0-1 pitch here misses low for a ball. Eight hits for Eastmont now in the ball game. The 1-1 pitch from Ochoa is across but inside for ball 2. Right height, wrong sight line. So 2-1 the count now on Kyler Morrow. This pitch misses low and outside for ball 3. So the inning began with a walk to Devin Schneider, moved down to second on a wild pitch, moved to third on a ground ball by Jackson Brown to third baseman Signorelli. And now a 3-1 count on Kyler Morrow. This pitch is swung on a chop back over the mound. Tough play for the second baseman. He'll field and then throw to first in time to get the out. Meanwhile, Devin Schneider comes home on the play. So giving an RBI to Kyler Morrow. 4-3 on the putout. 2 outs here for Eastmont in the seventh. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Duncan Favor. Favor 0 for the day so far. Flown out to right twice and got aboard on an error and scored a run in the sixth. He swings and misses the first pitch here. 0-1 the count on Favor. 8-5 now the score stands, and the 0-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count quickly 0-2 in favor of Ezekiel Ochoa. Favor ready. Ochoa shakes off the first sign. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's a ball missing inside for ball 1. 1-2 the count to Duncan Favor. Wet day, chilly day here in the Wenatchee Valley. A 1-2 pitch to the plate is a check swing, and they appeal down the first baseline, and the umpire says no, he did not go. So the count evens at 2-2. Moses Lake looking for the punch out in the final out here in the 7th inning. The windup and the 2-2 pitch from Ochoa swung on and missed, but then dropped by the catcher. And then he'll run up the first baseline and tag him. So K and 2 unassisted for the out. And that'll do it. And Moses Lake will pull off the series sweep of Eastmont this week, winning on Tuesday 5-1 and sweeping the doubleheader today 6-2 in the opener and 8-5 here in the nightcap. We'll take a break and come back and wrap it up here from Eastmont's Dan White Field coming up on the NCW Life Channel. Stay right there. Well, the Eastmont Wildcats fall on the season series to the Moses Lake Chiefs, losing the both ends of a doubleheader here today at Dan White Field, 6-2 in the opener and 8-5 in the nightcap. In the nightcap, Cody Alvarado goes 3 for 4 with a run scored for Moses Lake. The big crushing blow came in the 6th inning. It was a close ball game, 5-2 at that point, but that 3-run home run by Vance Alvarado, a big difference in this one, as that made it an 8-2 ball game at that point. Eastmont did try to claw back, but just didn't have enough on the day. But a good day at the plate for Lance Whitmer. He goes 3 for 3 with a run in the contest. But Eastmont swept in the season series, and now 11 days to think about it before their next action here in Big 9 play. Thanks to Jessica Medina for helping us on camera here today, and thank you for joining us for Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll see you again real soon here on the NCW Life Channel. Have a good night, everybody.
This concludes our broadcast of high school baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Tonight's broadcast was brought to you by the Wenatchee Valley YMCA. We now return to regular programming already in progress on your source for sports for North Central Washington, the NCW Life Channel.